Hello, family. It's me, SB, for my family in the United States. And for my family here in South Africa, Cebu. How y'all doing this evening? I hope everybody is doing well. Um, Listen, we got a pretty good show for you today. Definitely. We're going to be talking about those 5 reasons that people or that aspects tend to move from the United States to the continent, Africa. Listen, I got to tell y'all something. Whenever I'm out visiting, shopping, visiting different areas, shopping, doing whatever, and people hear this accent, they always ask this question. They say, first thing, where are you from? And I say, the United States. And then the next thing they say is, what are you doing here? And I'm like, I live here. And they're like, why? Why did you move here? Why? So that tells me that some South Africans, all those people who are asking, really don't understand how beautiful it is here or how fortunate they are to be in South Africa. I guess they just been here too long. And then maybe not. Maybe they have issues. Maybe life choices have brought them different things. But I definitely appreciate where I am right now. And it just brought me to the point where, you know what? Let's just talk about those 5 reasons. Listen, I gotta tell y'all something also because I know y'all gonna come at me in the comment section. There are several reasons, maybe up to 100, but SB has an opinion. And the next 5 that I share with you all is my opinion. You can agree with it, you can disagree. I would just love to hear your comments, but understand these are my opinions on why people move to the continent of Africa. You go ahead and share some other things if you feel like, what I'm saying isn't true. Okay? So I thought about it. I thought about it all day, long and hard. Let's see what would be some reasoning. And I got to give you mine. You all know that my husband was prophesied to over 25 years ago. So that first reason I'm going to say, and I'm starting off strong. That first reason would be a calling from a higher power. Let's call it that. An urging, something that said, you know what? I think you should go. And those who are obedient to that, they move and they actually come to the continent. And we chose South Africa and we have loved it every moment. That is the first reason. And after that, their reasoning or what they've gone through and different things like that may come. But the first one I'm going to say is an urging. It's an urging from a higher power. Something is telling you, you know what? The United States is just not working for me anymore. I don't know. I'm feeling the urge to move. Or I had a dream last night. Or I had a dream a few years ago. Or, things of that nature. It's always a dream, a prophecy, a calling. In my spirit, I'm feeling something that says I need to go. It's just that. And it's different from all people, it's. So they actually pack up and they move to the continent where we chose South Africa, others choose Ghana, and all different places. And some just actually choose the continent and go to different countries until they find where they're actually comfortable. But number one is that urging of or urging from a higher power. I think that would be one. I started out strong, right? Okay, so number two. Number two, I'm going to say that a lot of people move from the United States to the continent for retirement, right? They're retiring. And I just got to tell you something about retirement because every time I tell someone that I am a retired person, they look at me crazy. And I need y'all to understand being retired doesn't mean you have to be 62 and over. It just means that you have been invested or vested in a company for more than 20 years and you've decided, you know what? I don't want to go to work every day anymore. And I have money and interest in this company, and I think it's time for me to pull it out so they can pay me because I've done what I've had to do for the last 20 years. Now, this is not full retirement. This is not where Social Security kicks in and they give you all these benefits and all that extra stuff. No, this is just being retired from the career or the job that you had been invested in or vested in for the last 20 years. Some could be 30 years, some could be 20 and what have you. Now, Another reason why being retired and moving to Africa would be such a good idea is because most places in Africa, the dollar amount, I mean, you can definitely create a very good living off of a set income or a retiree income. When you retire, typically you get the same amount every month, and you can definitely plan your life on that. And the motherland, Africa, is a good place to do that. It's a very good place to do that. Now, for an example, we are retirees, meaning we're here on a retiree visa, and the US dollar and versus the rand, or I should say equaling to the rand, or the rand equaling to the US dollar, is amazing. So we can live a very comfortable life here throughout the rest of our years, even till we actually get to the full retirement age. We can actually do that. So number two would be true retirement or retirement. When I say true, I mean like Social Security and all those full benefits included, versus just being invested into a company for over 20 years and deciding that you just decided not to go to work anymore. This is an outstanding place to retire, y'all. I mean, the weather, okay, it's winter time now. It's a little chilly, but most of the time it's somewhere between 70 and 80 degrees, y'all. Anyway, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going. Number three. Number three, I would say a lot of people would say that they're leaving or would leave United States because they just want a better life. Now, the ones that want a better life, that could be some that are retired, but mostly when I think about that, I'm thinking about individuals who have families. They have families with children, and they may live in a big city in the United States, or even anywhere in the United States, and they decided, you know what, I don't want to raise my children in these United States anymore. I don't want to raise my children in this city anymore. Kids are bringing weapons to school. They're getting high in school. There's fights every day. This It's just too much. I don't think I want to raise my children in all this, you know, commotion anymore. I want to go somewhere where they can learn and play and just be children. And I'm telling you, I'm speaking for South Africa this time, but I've also heard throughout the continent that it's an excellent place to raise children. Now, some of y'all are not going to agree with that for whatever reason. You all may have your own. But when I hear about the schools, the different languages, how advanced, and I see the children here, I see how children, how they move. They seem so mature. And they have such an innocence about them. That's amazing. And even myself, if I was in that situation many, many years ago and had an opportunity to move to a whole different country where I could raise my child differently, I think I would have done that also. Here, they're not worrying about, listen, y'all, the American hip hop is not here yet. There are some things that I see that are coming this way. I definitely agree with that. But for now, it's still an innocence, especially in South Africa. And I know some of y'all gonna go crazy because you're gonna be like, that's the highest crime rate, this. And guess what? South Africa does have its problems. I definitely agree with that. But there is still an innocence about children here. Being able to play, being able to walk outside, their independence is crazy. When I see them, they're young, but they're just so I don't know. I don't want to say grown, but they're so mannerable, and like they know they're about their business. And it makes me feel like they're learning something. They're advanced. So, and then the 11 languages that they have here, and they also speak English here too. So all those things come into play, and I think that someone even told me that in school, the schooling here, it kind of rings like a college. They kind of, the way the classes advance and things of that nature, the way they go to school, how they get out and stuff like that. So I would say just for a better life, and that would be more so about the children. Now, coupled with that would be the economy. Now, as far as the economy goes, better life, better living, I'm talking strictly about South Africa, because that's what I know. I'm sure there are some other countries that would have very affordable living. I don't know that though. I'm strictly talking about South Africa. moving here, the economy is much better. And when I say economy being much better, I'm talking about more affordable. If we're going to do apples to apples, the real estate is just definitely winning. What I would pay for a house here in South Africa, it would be a mansion and a half. Excuse me. What I would pay for a house in the United States would be a mansion and a half in South Africa. What we pay for food is just I just can't even explain it. Maybe one day I will go grocery shopping with you all and just show you. But food is just it's just you just wouldn't believe it. So the economy is better now. There are some drawbacks, and I've spoken about this a couple times before. You would not, when I say better living, I'm assuming that those people are coming, but they may be working abroad, maybe some type of business owner. I don't know their employment or career situation, maybe doctors, maybe lawyers. I don't know. But the they would have to have some form of income in order for that to work for them because unemployment here is very high in South Africa. It is. There are not lot of jobs. But I think the goal should be job creation. So those individuals that are coming over should always look to contribute. And I always say that, and that's what you want to do. You always want to contribute to the situation, not take away. So with it becoming a better place to live or a better life, and as far as the economy goes, it has to be the right family or the individual who is working abroad, either, excuse me, is in a career that can be used here. So, and also, like I said, as far as the children go, you would want to make sure that here is a place where kids can just thrive and just be kids, and don't have to worry about a lot of the things that go on in the United States with our youth, because there's a lot that goes on in the United States with the youth. Y'all know that. I mean, we hear about it all the time. Now, where was I at? Number four. The fourth thing is kind of, oh God, y'all. It's just a serious matter for some. And for others, I'm gonna explain to you my position on it. And I know a lot of you are not going to agree and may have a lot of things to say. But another reason why people or individuals, brown skinned people, leave the United States is due to racism. I gotta be totally honest with you. Um, Racism to me is very bad behavior. Have I ever experienced any bad behavior from someone of another race? Absolutely, I have. But would I label it a problem? For me, no, I wouldn't have labeled it a problem. Now, keep in mind, I lived on the southeastern part of the United States. I wouldn't have labeled it a problem for me. That wouldn't have been a reason why I would get up and leave my life. Although some say that it is. I can imagine that, life choices may bring you situations that appear just to be very, very unfair. Life choices. But me, I'm one of those big advocates of accountability. If I did something that was incorrect, I need to take responsibility for it. And sometimes that may not look right. That doesn't mean that bad behavior is not going on. That doesn't mean that racism is not going on. That don't mean that systematic racism is not going on. All those things can happen. But life choices, that's life choices is what's the most important thing to me. Life choices. And I think a lot of times when we make choices that are not good for us, we may end up in situations that we may become victims of bad behavior. Now, y'all go crazy about that, but guess what? That is a reason that some people actually have decided to pack up and leave the United States. They do want to be in a place where most people look like them. Now, I enjoy that. I appreciate the fact that most everybody looks like me, but are we really serious? I mean, are we really going to say that there's no bad behavior? Y'all don't play. Y'all know, no matter where you go, there will be bad behavior. There will be. So Again, racism is number 4, and that is one of the reasons that I've heard from many people they left the United States. And that would be racism from police officers, school systems, just definitely bad behavior on parts of this systematic. Sometimes people doing things they should not do. Yeah, it's a lot, y'all. It is a lot. And last but not least, number 5. Now, this one is a little different because it just is. But you've heard it before. The last reason that a lot of people leave the United States headed for the continent of Africa is they want to get out of the matrix. And y'all be like, the matrix? What? You know, they're trying to figure out, is this real or is this fake? Have I been lied to from the beginning? And where am I going with this? Am I supposed to be at this 9 to 5 all my life? Is this it? Is this all that this world and life has for me? What? I've done everything I was supposed to do. I went to college, I got married, and is this it? Is this really it for me? That's a reason why a lot of people, I think, get up and leave the United States. Now, guess what happens? It happened for me like this. Now, again, that was not my reasoning for leaving the United States. I didn't feel as though I was basically in the matrix. But let me tell you this, once I got to this side, I went that 10,000 miles away, and I came over here and I came all the way on the other side of the Atlantic. I got over here. And then I said to myself, wow, I was in a bubble. I'm on this side now and I see things differently. My mind is opening. I meet people every day whose names have meanings. Not saying that us in the United States, our names didn't have meanings, but it's different. It's so different. Everything here has meaning. People, oh, y'all, the family, everything here has meaning. I'm not telling you that in the United States, my name didn't mean something, but y'all don't understand. People think different. They look just like you. They think different. They do things differently. It's a whole world outside of the United States. Now, I'm really asking myself now, is this real? Am I really experiencing this? Because I thought I had everything there. I had the house, had the husband, had the cars, had the family. I had everything, had the business, had the money. We had everything. I was in my forever home. I was good, y'all. But now I'm over here on the other side. And now I'm asking myself, am I in the matrix? Is this real? Because it's just, I look out the window, I see my lemon tree. I see my pomegranate tree. Y'all, it's just so different. So the reality of it is, all those things I mentioned, 1 through 4, actually come under number 5. I'm calling it all the matrix. It's a better life. Everything but the racism. All right. Okay, we're gonna pray that situation gets better. But anyway, guess what? When you come to this side, you leave that where it was. I mean, when 80% of the people look like you, nice brown skin, you may not have that problem. Actually, you're moving because you don't want to have that problem anymore. And guess what? You won't. You really won't. But that doesn't mean you won't have some problems. But I'm not going to bring this, I'm not bringing this video down. I'm keeping it up and I'm keeping it, high. I don't want anything. No, I don't want to be Debbie Downer. We're going to keep it positive. How about that? But like I said, though, once you get over here, you realize that there's a whole different world outside the United States. And you ask yourself, wow, this is beautiful. You begin to feel, you begin to think. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I hear people often talking about, when they got off the plane, how they felt when they landed in Africa. I got to be honest with you. When I got off the plane in South Africa, I felt absolutely nothing. I didn't. Forgive me. But as I'm now moving around, I'm slowing down. I'm taking it all in. Like I said, I'm looking out the window. I'm seeing my lemon trees. I'm looking at my palm trees. This is living. I'm actually living. In the United States, I definitely was existing. And I think a lot of people leave because they feel as though they're just existing. They're looking for a better life. And when you're retired, you're looking for a way that your money can take you until it's time to go on to glory. So you're looking for all those things. And I think those are reasons why people say we're coming back to the motherland. I believe that. And I believe it. So if any one of those five things may have impressed upon you, whether it's whether it's you're looking for a better life, you're at the age of retirement, ready or have invested in a company for 20 years plus, or if you have a nudging from a higher calling or a higher spirit to says, you know what, it may be time for you to go. You may need to listen because there is a whole nother world on this side of the Atlantic. And if you have an opportunity, I wouldn't want you to miss it. And for those of you that are continuously asking me why, I think y'all need to go visit the United States for right in about a month. And you will see that living in the motherland is a very cool place to live. Like, I gotta tell y'all something. I saw a video about a week ago, and it was from a South African who previously lived here, and I think now he's actually living in the United States. It was so funny because in the United States, we do everything. We pump gas, we clean our own house, we go to the grocery store, we do all those things, and it's just part of our day. It's the hustle. It's the hustle and the bustle that we do. But this man was on YouTube complaining about him having to put gas in his car. He was like, I had to put gas in my car. He was like, he was like, I had to help my wife clean the house. All those things that this is what they do in South Africa, y'all. They do those things for us. You know, yeah, gosh. They do it for us. He was so used to having that done that he was like, I'm tired of the United States because I gotta clean my house, I gotta wash my clothes, I gotta put gas in my car. I understand that some places in the United States they do have attendants that come and gas up your car. I get it. But for the most part, we're gassing up our own rides. And he no longer lives in South Africa. So he's like, I'm missing it. I'm missing it. So for those of you who want to ask the question, why am I here? I'm here for all the things that South Africa has to offer. And look, I just got out of the rat race. It's real to me. I'm looking for a better life. I'm retired. Uh the Holy Spirit actually gave a nudging and we accepted it and said, let's go. So I'm all of the above. And right now I do feel like I'm in the matrix sometime. Is it really real? Am I here? So, anyway, I just wanted to come and share that with you guys because often that is like the number one question once they hear this accent is to, do you live here? And I say yes. And number two question is, why? So, anyway, listen, guys, y'all have a good night. And listen, don't take anything for granted. It just comes and goes too easy. Thank y'all, and I'll see you soon.